Hey guys, welcome back to Just Carve Rob. And what have we been working on? We've been working on frog. Got a bug. Cottonwood bark frog. Cottonwood bark frog. Been working on a cottonwood bark frog. This stuff is like carving butter. Butter. Had a piece pop off right here. So the only problem with cottonwood bark, guys, is if it decides it's going to leave, it leaves. And it's such a small piece, it's like you're not gluing that back on. So, yep. Should have known better than to try carving this little froggy guy out of cottonwood bark. But what the hey, right? So guess we'll just have to what? Carve deeper. Like old Jordy says. Carve deeper. Okay, so there's a frog anyway. I've been working on him on and off, messing around. He's my mess around guy. When I got nothing better going on, that's what I do. And let's see, we carved. Look at that. We carved another Bigfoot. Yes, I did film it, and yes, the SD card, when I went to download it into the laptop, was corrupted. So we lost like 10 hours of carving footage and burning and all that good stuff. But we still got to paint them. There's the backside. So that's what he came out looking like anyway. Alright. And so what are we carving today? Well, it's late in the day. We lost an hour, time change. I got this here piece of cottonwood bark. Small piece. I already cleaned it up with the I have a kutzall shaping wheel, and this was about that big. See where my finger is? Hello guys. It was about that long, but the problem is that from here down was all real shaly. I took my screwdriver and started poking at it and pop till I got down to where I don't see any lines going through it. So I'm hoping, I mean, we lost quite a bit of the cottonwood bark there, but oh well. We're going to carve it anyway. So you can see we kind of got some outlines of a face drawn in there. And we will be using our Dremel 4000. This is a kutzall flame burr. And between this and the tile cutter and the kutzall taper burr, we're going to dig this face out of here and see how it comes out. I don't know how it's going to come out, but we're going to try it. So I just cleaned this up with the kutzall shaping disc on my angle head grinder. And then we went back and... Oh, not went back. We're going to start with our Dremel 4000 with a kutzall flame burr. And then as I switch burrs, I'll let you know. Alright, so we're going to have to turn on the dust collector, and we may be using our OCC knife. I don't know yet. We'll see how fine detailed we get into here. So let's get all that stuff started, and then I'll do the voiceover. Alright, so like I mentioned before, guys, we are using the Dremel 4000 with the kutzall taper burr, or flame burr. And we're running at about 3 times the speed here. And we'll get everything cut out with this flame burr. And it snowed here March. I think it's March 16th, and it snowed last night. We ended up with like, I don't know, 2 inches of snow last night. And it's all gone. It's all melted away now. So in a matter of 24 hours, we had 2 inches. It snowed. It was big snowflakes. And then it all melted away. So that's the weather report from Michigan on March 16th. Okay. We're just getting in there, and we went on the outside of our lines that we had drawn on the face, all right? And we're just getting it shaped up here. This is just a basic wood spirit, guys. I don't know. This thing is really on a sharp angle. So I don't know, we might end up with some, what did Jordy call them? Negative spaces. We may end up with some negative spaces here. Yeah, the old shop inspector was outside chasing snowballs. She was having a good old time barking at the snow. Crazy German Shepherd. Loves barking at the snow. She loves playing in it, too. She go out there and roll around in it. And leave dog snow angels all over the place. Man, she gets a flipping. You'd think that there was a vicious fight between two wild animals out in the yard, but it wasn't. It was just her rolling around in the snow, throwing it up in the air and acting like a maniac. You can't even shovel snow around my house. You get a shovel full of snow and throw it, and she attacks it. Crazy, crazy, crazy. She is definitely an attack dog. Shit. At least she attacks snowflakes. Oh, she wanted to play with the birds so bad today. There was a big old crow sitting on the yard because I put bread out there for him. And that crow was gobbling down the bread, and she was going crazy. She wanted to go play with that crow, and that crow was having none of it. And then you can see we're shaping the mustache in. Shaping the nose up here a little bit. Trying to get everything figured out. You know, every time I carve a wood spirit, because I don't carve a lot of wood spirits, all right? I think that's kind of Jordy's thing, but I will carve more wood spirits as time goes on here. They're fun to carve. I like carving them. But every time I carve a wood spirit for some reason, I really get anxious about it. You guys got that problem? I'm like, oh, what if I mess it up? What if I mess it up? It's only a little piece of cottonwood bark, Rob. Don't get all worked up about it. But that's that's me. That's part of my process. It seems like every time I carve, it's all critical carving to me for some reason. I don't know why. It's a little bit on the ridiculous side. So we're cutting the snot holes in there. Yep, pushing them up in there. Now we're shaping the nose. So I go really wide with my nose when I first start off because I know once I get up to between the eyes, the eyebrows are going to go up higher. Where I cut that in, I don't count that as my eyebrows because I know the eyebrows are going to go higher because of how I do my eyes. It used to be I set my eyebrows and that's where it was going to be. Then after watching Kevin over at Sticks and Stones do eyes and a bunch of other YouTube wood carvers, I can't remember who they all are, do eyes. The top of your eyebrow is not flat. That's where your the eyeball bulges. So I end up, wherever I put my eyebrow, I end up cutting up into the eyebrow for the top lid of eyelid. And so I don't even count that as my eyebrow anymore. That's just where the top of the eye is going to be. Okay? That round part of the eye. I really need to change my thinking on that. But like I said, I don't do that many wood spirits and things like that. So I think as I get into it more, I'll be less fearful of messing it up, I guess. The eyes are hard. For me, eyes are hard. I really never carved eyes before. Most of my animals that I carved, they're just they're round marble type eyes. So once I start carving more like human faces, even though they're caricatures, the eyes always seem to bug me. as far as do more of a realistic eye. So I've been watching a lot of Doug Linker and how he carves his eyes. Most of Doug's eyes are, I'd say 90% are cartoon style eyes. Hard to do on these guys, but I'm thinking I'm going to take a piece of cottonwood bark and give her a shot. Okay, you can see how I'm cutting the eye in there, for where the round part of your eye is going to be. And I think I should have made these cheekbones a little bit lower too. I think I put them a little too high. But hey, every piece you carve can't be your masterpiece, right? Some of them just, and like Jory always says, they're wood spirits. Nobody knows what they're supposed to look like until you get done with it, and then that's what he looks like. So that's what I'm going with on this guy. Whatever he looks like when I get done with him is what he looks like when I get done with him. Okay, now we're switching over to the micro carver, and we're using that flame. It's a flame burr. It's carbide, and it's like for steel. 3/32 inch shaft. And I get these from, and I'm not sponsored by these guys, Mountain Wood Carvers. If I can find, I need to get a new one. This one is about, probably a year old now, and it's really had a workout, you know. And it's carbide. It's a carbide burr. But it's really had a workout. It'd still be fine for steel, but you really have to have a sharp blade for wood, especially cottonwood bark. Otherwise, you end up with a bunch of what looks like tears. It's not a nice smooth cut. And then you gotta get back up in there with your diamonds. And that's something else I found out with the cottonwood bark, is that your diamonds tend to plug up. At least the ones I bought from Amazon. I think it was 20 in a pack for $15 or something like that. They may be more now. But they really plug up. Even the ruby burrs plug up hard on the cottonwood bark. I don't know if it's the oil in the cottonwood bark, but I find myself having to clean them more often. Okay, you can see we're still using that, and that flame burr. That's a high carbide. It's a aluminum cutter type deal. So it's got the wide spirals in it, and we're doing a little cutting in with the mouth. This burr seems to work awesome on the cottonwood bark to get it shaped and all that stuff. And we're running at 2 times the speed here to shorten our video up a little bit. Getting it all, we're cutting up underneath the mustache there to make the lips show a little bit better. And we'll end up going through this and wood burning this whole thing too. I don't think I recorded any of the wood burning part of it. We're feathering the mustache back. Got to work that back, make the nose stick out the furthest from the face. You can see we got our eyeballs done there. Or we started on them anyway. Getting them rounded over and all that good stuff. I thought I had some footage of that. Maybe I didn't. Sorry, guys. Sorry if I missed the eyes, but there we go. Working those eyes in a little bit. I am not the best eyeball carver. So you probably really don't want to learn from me about eyeballs anyway. But that's just roughly how I do them. I cut that. You come down wherever your eyeball is going to be, the eyeball itself. I always start with the upper eyelid and roll it down into the nose. And then a cut up underneath of it to start the beginning of the eye. You can see I'm working in the corners of the eyes to bring the corners down. So you kind of want to plunge into the corners at, probably a 60-degree angle. You don't want it too sharp. You don't want it at 45. So I try plunging in at about 60 degrees and take a little triangle out of each corner of the eye. And then from there, I roll it down. And once I get it rounded, I'll go underneath that eye and I'll cut in the lower eyelid. Probably totally different than anybody else you see do eyes. That's I have not developed my own technique to it yet for cutting eyes in. So I just mess around with it, and one of these days I'll stumble across something that works. But I like that Jordy showed me a long time ago that when you're going to put your eye in, make it like a big eye bag there, right? Wherever you want the bottom of your eye, make it like a big eye bag and cut it in, and then go ahead and cut your eyelids in. Okay, we're changing out burrs. We went to the Ruby burr, 3/32 shaft, to try smoothing some of this stuff out. Because like I said, with that other flame burr getting dull, it ends up tearing a little bit. Okay, so now we're back to the kutzall flame burr. And I'm bringing the bridge of the nose down. And I'm actually giving it a little swoopy, like the, I guess they call it a Roman nose. A little swoop to the nose. And we're working, just kind of saying, okay, this is where my eyebrows are going to be. But they end up being a whole lot thinner, guys, because my eyelids are up underneath the eyebrow ridge that I put in. So I'll go back and I'll cut that back at about a 35, 40 degree angle to kind of let it round over into the eye. You know what I'm saying? Because your eyelids don't really tuck up. Well, some people they do, but they see how I'm bringing that back to let the eye stand out better. Instead of having it a straight in angle from the under the eyebrow, I'm bringing it up, pushing the eyebrow up, so it lets the eyelid show a little bit better, and you don't just have like a 90-degree block right into the eye. I like giving it that little bit of an angle going down to the eye. And if this piece of wood bark was a little bit bigger, I would have gave him a lot bigger hairdo. Okay, see how we're working that back? See how I work that you can see how I'm going from the nose right up into and rounding the upper part of the eyebrow on an angle up. I think it just lets the eyes stick out a little bit better. Look at all that. That's the other thing with the cottonwood bark, puts off a very, very fine dust. Yeah, so you want to make sure you either got a respirator on or a mask, dust mask, or see, I got my vacuum going, and it is sucking a lot of it in, but a lot of it's dense, so it wants to just fall right underneath where you're cutting. So now we're cutting the forehead back. And I believe you see that a lot on Jordy's videos too, where he's ripping through the cottonwood bark. It doesn't really suck into the vac system very well, or dust collector system. You can kind of see it gathering in front of the dust collector nozzle there. I've had a lot of questions about my dust collector nozzle. Okay, I bought that at a place called Menards. It's for 2.5-inch hose. I upsized it. My vacuum originally came 1.5-inch hose, but I upgraded it to a 2.5-inch hose. Okay, so now we have got the Scotch-Brite and the Dremel 4000 with a flex shaft, and we're running it really slow. And we got the Scotch-Brite in there, and we are going over and removing all of the fuzz and stuff out of it. And then we'll go back with the wood burner, and we will wood burn it all in. And I like the way the Scotch-Brite works. Works pretty good. Just don't stay in one place too long. Like with sandpaper, it will chop it right out, or sand it right away. All right. So that's what he's coming out looking like anyway. We're just going to cut a pupil in there with a half-round gouge, and we'll just clear coat him, and that'll be it for him. And that's going to be it for this video. All right. So share, subscribe, like. Remember, if you like to save 5% on kutzall burrs, check the links in the description below. Use the code CARVEROB in all capital letters at your kutzall, at the kutzall site. Like I said, they'll be in the links in the descriptions below. All right. So, share, subscribe, like, be awesome, guys. Carve something awesome. And we will catch you on the next one. We're going back to the 330 seconds with that little flame burr. And there you go. I'm putting my name in it for you. There it is, Jordy. Signing it, Jordy. RV. Up, it's backwards. All right, guys. Hey, make sure you guys go over and check out Ben's Studio on the Lake, Kevin at Sticks and Stones, Jordy at Carve Fusion, Calvin at Calvin Carves, and Cleve over there at Cleve's Backyard Woodworking. And thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Bye-bye.